You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, this is Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Welcome to the big show, my family and friends. We certainly appreciate you. The Chris Voss Show, the family that loves you, but doesn't judge you. At least not as harsh as your mother-in-law. I don't know. Maybe you have a nice mother-in-law. It's kind of a rude thing to say about mother-in-laws, Chris. Why would you bring that up? I don't know. It seems like a great joke to run on. But hopefully you have a nice, wonderful mother-in-law, and she appreciates you wonderfully. Although, I don't know. I've seen some of you lately, so she's probably right. Anyway, guys, as always, refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Guilt trip them into joining and subscribing to the show. Guilt trip yourself into giving us a 5-star review on iTunes. I love all the wonderful reviews we get on iTunes. I sit and cry sometimes at the love and outpouring that gets poured into our reviews. So thank you very much. Thank you for touching me at my heart and soul and give me something to cry about, because otherwise I have to watch the Lifetime channel. Anyway, guys, youtube.com/Chris Voss, goodreads.com/Chris Voss, the big LinkedIn newsletter. Holy crap. The 130,000 group over there, that thing is growing like it's growing out of style. That's how much it's growing, because it's growing out of style. That makes no sense, but that's the whole point of it, isn't it? Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We have an amazing gentleman on the show. Benjamin Cohen joins us on the show today. We're going to be talking about some of the things he's involved with, whether it's from commercial real estate, founding companies to raise capital, future equity, debt funds, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to get into him, learning about him and what he's doing, and maybe how some of you can get to know him better. He has over 2 to 3 years of real estate private equity experience, running acquisitions, underwriting, and capital markets department for a PE firm in Charlotte, North Carolina, with around $400 million AUM. We'll have to ask him what that means. He recently parted ways with commercial real estate to partner with 2 founders of SE Portfolios to raise capital, run future equity and debt funds, and run acquisitions for the company. At SE Portfolios, they build or buy existing online businesses or brand. We'll sell them the Chris Voss Show. No, we won't. They don't want to buy this thing. And sell them to individual entities and persons. They could buy it for me and sell it back. I don't know. I'll pay you $5 for it. And they can manage and operate and scale all operations for them while providing excess returns per unit in a risk of times of economic uncertainty. They can certainly do it in times of economic uncertainty, which is kind of where we're at nowadays with what's going on in our economy. Welcome to the show, Benjamin. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Chris, for having me.
There you go. Do you guys want to buy the Chris Voss Show? No, I'm just kidding. It's not for sale. What's an AUM?
AUM means assets under management.
Assets under management. I think didn't that guy who ran Playboy do assets under management? Okay. I don't know what that means. There's a joke there somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but it's there somewhere. I don't know how I could forget Hugh Hefner. Anyway, assets under management. So Benjamin, give us your .coms, all the places you want people to follow you on the internet and get to know you better.
Yeah, so you can follow me on LinkedIn, obviously Ben B. Cohen, or Benjamin Cohen, I believe, is my LinkedIn. You can also email me at bcbequity.com. And you can also look at my company, Scaling Lead, or seportfolios.com.
There you go. So let's do a little bit of history, background, origin story, if you will. What got you into this business and got you where you are today?
Yeah, so I'll keep it short. Like you mentioned, private equity background. So I came from the real estate space. All private equity is just raising money to buy businesses or buy real estate and issue a return back to investors or clients. So I was in that space for about 2.5 years. I am eternally grateful to my last partners, Chris Salerno at QC Capital. Parted ways with QC, and I partnered with the 2 founders of Scaling Elite Portfolios, or SE Portfolios. They've been whispering in my ear for the last couple of years to come on as soon as possible, so I finally jumped ship. And the mission and vision and values of this company was basically a non-negotiable for me, and I had to come join this. So it's been incredible. So that's why I'm over here.
There you go. And what type of fund are you? How do you raise money? Who are you raising money from? And what sort of companies and region or geography you're looking at?
Yeah. So Scalingly, what we do is we build from scratch an online business. So I guess it's easy to analogize this to real estate. So for example, most people that broke into real estate wanted to build generational wealth using either fix and flips or rentals or multifamily or development or whatever asset vehicle that you wanted to use, but with the end goal of getting to generational wealth. In this industry of e-commerce, which is a little bit newer, it's about 15 to 20 years old, the asset classes or the vehicles to get you there is Shopify, Wix, WooCommerce, GoDaddy.com, all the marketplace stores like Amazon, Facebook, and Walmart. So we use those platforms and launch a business online, which could be anywhere in the world. And we sell that business to a client. And then we operate everything for them. It's completely passive.
Wow. Yeah, that works good. A lot of people are looking for sort of turnkey businesses, if you will. Is that a correct analogy?
That's correct.
There you go.
Great analogy. Yep.
There you go. See, I know at least two things in life. Maybe three, but that might be pushing it. So this is pretty interesting. And so what is the importance of wanting to come on the show today and talk about? Is there people that can reach out to you or get involved with everything you're doing? And what are you looking at there?
Yeah. So to answer that question, I'd say, I guess I can tie this back to our mission, because like most syndicators or wealth fund managers, they usually issue a return. They're raising capital to buy real estate or anything along those lines, right? But in this case, obviously we're a little bit different, but our main mission is to change people's lives. I'm just a regular person, just like anyone else. And we've created a product here that has seen ridiculous cash flow returns. And we believe that our vision, what we believe is that every single person deserves to have some source of passive income. And that's what I'm here, just to spread the message. It's a very new thing. So I've had a lot of meetings, lots of questions here and there. So that's what I'm doing, just spreading the word.
And does this make for a better investment than, say, throwing your money into T-bonds? Getting passive investment. I know real estate, residential at least, is in decline right now in valuation and stuff. So that may be kind of in a bull market for a while. Is this a great way to kind of bulwark against things that are going on in the economy? So
with our clients, what we always project for them is an average cash flow of anywhere between $4,000 to $20,000. And I know that seems ridiculous, which is why I've had a lot of calls with clients where I have to show them existing businesses, show some P&L statements here and there, because with most clients coming from the real estate background, they're expecting a 7% return. In this case, it's a completely different world. We're targeting a global consumer. We're not targeting tenants, or we're not targeting cash on cash returns or anything along like that. I'm very numbers driven. I'm very analytical. So I don't want to go into all of that. I don't want to confuse anyone, but yes, to answer your question, this could be an alternative vehicle to diversify out of traditional T-bills, diversify out of real estate. And the barriers to entry are definitely interesting relative to those as well.
Yeah, because there's still rumors. I think the CEO of JP Morgan said we're still in for some choppy water, maybe some darker times financially. Businesses are still doing well. Businesses are still hiring. Things are moving along. There seems to be a lot of demand for just about everything. Online businesses, I grew up, I built my multimillionaire companies in brick and mortar. And it was hard. It was hard because everything you had to do was set up. You had to get your licensing. And if you had a special government licensing, you had to do that. You had to sign a 3-year lease for an office building. You had to buy all this furniture and equipment so you could fill the office building so you look like a functioning business. You had to hire a secretary to sit up front. You had to bring in the phone lines. You had to put a lot of money up front, and you didn't even know if it was going to work. It was like, I hope all this shit works, because we just spent a lot of money. Yeah. Otherwise, that secretary is going to be just sitting up there, sharpening pencils. pretty much. And it was hard back in the day. And I'm just amazed and loved, and I wish I had what those darn kids have nowadays. Just being you start a business, you go on GoDaddy and buy.com and woohoo, off you go. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on today with AI and other things. So are you guys incorporating into your stuff,
Yes.
AI?
So in regards to operational efficiencies, yes, absolutely. Definitely It speeds up our marketing. It speeds up our product selection and product research. But yeah, I definitely want to mention one point. I don't want to get too technical, but ever since COVID, we've seen a proliferation of e-commerce businesses or brick and mortar businesses channeling omni-channels to target a global consumer, especially when in certain areas there was lockdowns tighter than others. It's definitely the whole world has changed. I definitely see these trends continuing. I think e-commerce, per what Forbes said, is growing at 29.2% year over year, which is a tailwind we haven't seen in other industries, especially with everything happening right now. The cool thing with e-commerce is not capital intensive relative to brick and mortar businesses or just managing any business. And there's a lot of things I can comment on, but I definitely want to comment on that first. And since we are channeling a global consumer, and since everything is digital, when things don't work, you can pivot really quickly, which is the really cool thing about this when comparing that to real estate, for example. So
there you go. It's e-commerce is so interesting. Like back in my world, you had to, in the brick and mortar world, you had to pay like all this money to call, long distance, even just out of the local city you're at. It was an insane business, and I never ever in a million years in my old world of thinking of brick and mortar and when I grew up, that I would ever have international clients, that I would ever do international business, that I would ever sell things internationally. And then when social media came along in e-commerce, I was like, wow. And suddenly, I had clients around the world. And, the power of who you can sell to and what you can sell to and the reach that you can have, and then the cost to get to that reach is an extremely low bar compared to what we used to. We used to have a telemarketing department for our mortgage company and other things. And I would get a bill every month for $45,000, and it would come in like 8 cases of paper for the bill, which, God forbid you should ever try and read that thing. But I remember when I get delivered every month, I just be like, wow, okay, that's something. And, $45,000 just to make in-state long distance calls out of your city, or in your city too, I think it was too. But it was crazy. And now, you can do stuff all over the world with email and e-commerce and stuff. And it's just crazy. And the ability to not have to invest so much money up front and build something that can make money. I saw recently this guy who used that new Chat GPT thing everyone's talking about in AI. He asked it, how can I start in a successful company with I think it was like $100 or something, and make it successful. And like the Chat GPT came back and told him how to basically build a successful money-making company for like $100 or something. And, I don't know if he's making billions with it, but evidently, he's done okay with it. And it just told him, it's like, okay, go to GoDaddy, buy your thing. And, here's an angle to set up an e-commerce shop. And I don't know if it was an Etsy or something, but basically you can do it. For me, I've been an Amazon reseller now for about 10, 12 years, might be longer than that, where I've sold stuff on Amazon. And it's crazy, man. It's better than eBay. And I know friends that own warehouses where they buy bulk stuff, where they buy stuff on what is it called? It's the guy over in China.
Alibaba.
The Alibaba, and they have it shipped in really cheap, and they flip it on Amazon, and it's just insane. And so the opportunities and availabilities for what people can do is crazy, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would say that whole model of drop shipping in the US is very saturated because you see a lot of 20-year-olds and 19-year-olds, testing it, because you don't really need that much money to get a business off the ground, maybe $1,000 here and there. But to do it correctly, it is a lot more money. I've lost a lot of money when I was in college. When I tried this, I tried starting a coffee brand, and didn't really go as well as I wanted it to, because I was penny pinching. So I mean, as you know, running businesses is a lot of work. And in this case, we have 7 different departments. We have a software development department that handles website design and graphic design. We have an internal and external supply chain management department. We have a customer service department, an operations teams with 12 people deep that handles like product selection, product research and development. And then we have a marketing agency that does all of our advertising campaigns. And we're a team of 41. And the cool thing is that, as you know, since it is very operationally heavy to run a business, we are selling businesses to people where they don't have to do any of that for you. Well, you don't have to do any of that for yourself. That's what I meant. Excuse me. That we do all of that for them, and they're just buying a business that's in their name. And if you compare this to investing into a real estate syndication or a fund, and if you analogize this to like a capital stack, right? If you have like whenever you buy a house, right, your 80% of the money that came up to buy the house, you have your loan, and then they're priority to cash flow, right? You have to pay your mortgage every month. In this case, if you're comparing that capital stack to this, our client, they are the priority to cash flow. There's no debt; they're the debt. So they are the debt, the equity, and we're just the manager on the bottom. And then they own the business. So if they wanted to exit, they can. They don't have to come to us. It's not like you're at the mercy of the operator of when you want to exit your business. It's been a phenomenal thing. I'm just a conduit of my company to push the message, and I parted ways with private equity and venture capital and basically commercial real estate because I haven't seen returns like this, and it's phenomenal.
That is awesome. Do people that prospective clients you're looking to work with, people that are looking to invest, is there a minimum portfolio or a minimum amount of money they need to bring?
So essentially you're buying like a digital franchise from my like imaginary inventory right here. So we would start a business from scratch. We put about $40,000 to $50,000 into it to get it off the ground. Once it's generating $2,000 to $3,000 a day in revenue, then and the products itself are generating a minimum 8.2x return of ad spend. What that means is if you put $1 into ads, we're projecting to hit an estimated $8.2 back in revenue.
Wow.
That's our minimum threshold to get into the business. So once we're testing everything, we're de-risking everything ourselves. And once it's producing, then we'll sell it to a client for about 120. And then they also need about $40,000 in working capital. So to buy the Chick-fil-A, it's 120. And then we have to have all the bread, the buns, the bread and the buns, same thing. Bread, chicken, tomato, the lettuce, all the good stuff that you need to actually operate the business. So, but that working capital is theirs. It's in a reserve account. They can liquidate it. If they do, then we can't operate. And we do everything for them. We buy the product. We do the ads. If that answers your question, so I would say 120 plus 40.
There you go. So 160. There you go. Awesome sauce. Assuming I know how to count. So, but no, that's really brilliant because, there's so many people that over the years, I've counseled entrepreneurs and stuff. And I've met some people. In fact, when we enter mortgage people, there would be people that would come to me and they'd be like, yeah, I'm going to take out a $50,000 equity line, Chris. I'm like, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, I'm going to start a business. And I'm like, you're a math teacher at a school and you work on a very rudimentary brain type. And I can tell that you don't have the chops for this and you're probably going to lose this money. And you should probably just sit on that money and I don't know, invest in real estate or something.
Exactly.
And there's certain people that aren't cut out to be entrepreneurs.
Correct.
And the danger, and like you said, you guys do the learning curve business where you guys know what works, figure out what works and go through that. And that can be very expensive in starting a company and
Absolutely.
learning what doesn't work. And especially with e-commerce, you've got to have people that are good at marketing, that know marketing, ad making, and getting, I think what we just said, an 8 times return on every dollar spent.
8.2x return of ad spend. That's our minimum threshold. Yes.
There you go. And that's really a challenge to do. And you've got to have people that really know what they're doing. And I mean, you can lose a lot of money. I've had companies where if within 2 or 3 months we're profitable. Within a year, we're still 50 grand upside down. I've been on both ends of the spectrum, and sometimes if you're good at business, you're not losing any sleep about being 50,000 upside down because it's an investment for the future. But, I've I'm a seasoned business guy, so I know how that works and how it plays.
Right.
But most people aren't that good, and so being able to turn to some company like you guys and have you guys handle that and make it turnkey for them, and then it's passive for them and what they're doing in their spare time. Maybe they're an executive at a company, or maybe they just want to enjoy their retirement. It makes it so they're not. The other thing about being an entrepreneur is you live it 24/7.
That's right.
And especially when you're the CEO or you've got to run it actively, not passively, you've got to always be running it. And you live, sleep, dream, eat, business. It's insane. Like I just be like, I actually have dreams every night about what I'm doing the next day, who I'm firing, who I'm hiring. I would have dreams about the meetings that I had planned for the next day. And I'd be like, and then, I'd wake up and be like, really? Can we dream about a girl or something different, sitting on a beach or something? Like, why does every dream have to be about business? Like, it's draining. So having a passive sort of business, I think, is definitely the way to go, especially from someone who's lived off.
No, it's definitely alternative. When comparing this to all these different vehicles that you have out there, e-commerce itself before I go into that, we have 97 businesses that we manage. So
wow.
We have 72 clients, and
wow.
I raise capital for the company, so I have to deal with all of our investors. I have to bring on all of our new clients, and like you said, it's a full-time job. Like we have meetings at 1 a.m. because they're out of California, but I couldn't ask for anything better. So, but yeah, I had to hone in on your point. Math teachers are not entrepreneurs, but they can actually be one passively. And that's the cool thing when analogizing this.
Yeah, you've got other smarter people working for you, and then you've got a business running on the side where you can make money, and you've got your money making money for you, if you will. But you've also downsided the risk on a massive scale to where, you're not the one having to experiment. A lot of my companies that we started, many times the original mission or what we thought was going to be the mission or what we thought was going to be the clientele or what we thought was going to be our target market changed. Sometimes within 30 days, we're like, hey, after being in this space for this long, we realized that we need to go over there instead of over here and flip the model. And usually most successful entrepreneurs figure that out really quickly. Or sometimes you have things where you can run a model for 1 year, 10 years, 5 years. Suddenly you wake up one day and the earth's changed and everything's different. And the model that was profitable and successful doesn't work anymore. You're like, shit, we better figure out what's wrong here or the ship's going to sink. And so having smart people behind you can really do that well. Now, you mentioned you're going to move to Spain, I think you said.
That's correct. I am moving to Barcelona in the next 2 months, and I'll be running this from over there.
Nice.
The capital raising side. We are looking to start a debt fund and an equity capital fund, because our long-term vision for our company is to turn e-commerce into a legitimate, securitized, institutionalized asset class, because this is not an asset. You are buying an online business and you are a client. So we want to turn e-commerce into a brand new, huge financial product. I don't think there's been one there hasn't been a financial product, since crypto, but before crypto, the REIT in the 80s when the government approved that. And the fundamentals are very similar. So we're really excited about that, and we're really excited to help change people's lives, because I have not seen cash flow like this before from a passive perspective. And the cool thing about this is that I really want to hone in on preserving your money. So you mentioned 5 minutes ago that you had a business model that was working. 5-10 years later, you wake up, it's not working anymore. What do? Right? In this case, the nature of e-commerce, since there's no physical encumbrances, there's no physical real estate, you can actually pick up your business, move it somewhere else, because it's digital. So if something isn't working, you test, you pivot very quickly. It takes 36 to 72 hours to cycle through different products, to change marketing campaigns. You have a new demographic, a new niche, all that stuff. We handle that for them, and the client is completely enjoying the passive distributions.
There you go. You bring up a good point. The thing about me and my life since about 2004 is I can work anywhere in the world as long as there's Wi-Fi, usually, because I've got to be able to talk to people. But even then, there's times I've been on vacation or gone places where I don't have Wi-Fi, or I don't check my phone. I'm like, whatever, I'm doing whatever. So I don't need it 24/7, although it's nice to have. But no, being able to work anywhere in the world, Like I can go anywhere and work, and as long as I got a computer and a microphone, I suppose, and a mobile phone, I can work, and it's so freeing and it's so wonderful. Like I think the only thing that constrains me is my two dogs. They're a little hard to ship around if I want to go live somewhere.
Mhm.
And I have to find a place for them, and of course shipping them is a whole different thing. But it makes all the difference in your life. I'll meet people and they're like, oh, Chris, I wish I could move across town or whatever, or not across town, but across the country. I can move over to LA or something. Well, what's holding you back? Well, the kids are in college and or the kids are in school, and my job's down the block that I gotta go to. I'm like, that must suck. I can just go anywhere I want. I move about every 2 to 3 years.
Really?
Yeah. I'm part of it is I'm single and free, and happy. Well, actually, I said that when I said I was single, that I was happy. So it being able to do that is great. Like if I want to I get bored living in places, and I'm like, hey, I want to move to California for a while. Hey, I want to move to Nevada or back to Nevada for a while. I want to move over here for a while. It's the freedom is awesome.
Yeah.
And there's no interruption to my income because it's all in the interwebs in the sky.
Exactly.
So there you go.
That's wait, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Well, anything more we haven't touched on, or what haven't we touched on about how you guys are doing it and what you're doing?
Yeah, I can jump into a little bit more of the technicals in a
Sure.
minute. I definitely want to comment on one more thing that you just mentioned. A lot of people, when they're raising money to buy real estate, or if they're a hedge fund or whatever, their marketing gig is to say financial freedom, gain financial freedom, and obviously that's a goal for I'm assuming 99.9% of the population, probably 100% of the population. Everyone wants financial freedom, but with e-commerce, since it is digital, the nature of that is that you're buying back your time, and you have location freedom and time freedom. That is a mixture of the three that you can't get in traditional vehicles, and in this you can, which is why I'm fortunate enough to move to Barcelona. I'm 24, so I get to do it at a young age, and run this from over there. So you get location freedom, which is my personal goal, and obviously I get to share that with all of our clients and the new people we're bringing on.
There you go. It's going to be fun. Do you guys work with people in the United States? Do you guys see yourselves becoming an international fund?
So good question. So most of our businesses that we're selling, they're actually located in Italy, Malta, Spain, and Romania. So are you familiar with the concept of dropshipping, Chris?
Yeah.
So dropshipping is a very saturated industry here in the United States. So we don't operate here in the US for that very same reason, because everyone and their mom is doing it because it's like $1,000, $2,000 to start an online business. Here we are capitalizing on the opportunity of cash on delivery services in Europe. Cash on delivery is the preferred form of commerce in most European countries, huge in India, huge in Mexico. We're looking to expand into Brazil. But the business essentially that we're selling to a client is a cash and delivery business, either in Italy, Spain, or those other countries I just mentioned to you. So that's the cool thing about that. Our clients are located in the States, but our businesses are located in Europe.
Yeah. Being able to operate anywhere and sell stuff anywhere. I mean, even like my book is available internationally. I remember the first time my book got published and I found an ad for it in Japan. I was like, wow, that was cool. People, it was really weird. They had like a whole Japan thing, and I was like, okay, all right. And it's just so wild to be able to sell stuff anywhere, and it's so limitless. And like I said, it doesn't cost like, God, we used to, every time we open an office or a new company, it was such a nightmare. And then the timing too was the nightmare too, because you'd be like, okay, well, how much do we have to have for? We have to do all this investing for government approval, some local license or some tariff license or something back in the day. And so, okay, that's going to take 2 or 3 months. Okay, great. Meanwhile, we've invested all this money. We're sitting around waiting for it to work. You're signing contracts for leases that are going to last 3 years with penalties that you'll have to pay if the business doesn't work out. And then you're like, you got to wait a few days for us to get you the key and then open the office. And then you got to wait another 2 weeks to have the phone lines put in. Then you got to hire the employees. That can take a month or two to get up and running. And the whole thing just is a money sucking time can suck in brick and mortar. And so being able to do these e-commerce things. It's all the difference. So people that want to, that are interested in what you guys have to offer, what's the best way for them to reach out to you and get to know you guys better?
So they can reach out to me either on LinkedIn, they can email me, they can look at our website that I mentioned earlier. More than happy to jump on a quick call. Calendars are always booked, so reach out to me as soon as you can, obviously, and then we can jump on a call whenever you guys want.
There you go. And then they can hang out with you in Spain too, as well.
Yeah, you guys are always welcome. I'll buy a couple futons, so anyone's welcome.
There you go. The thing about Spain is those tapas. Am I saying it right? The tapas?
Tapas.
Yeah.
Tapas, yeah.
So be careful, pace yourself. You don't want to end up a big fat guy like me. But I've seen
Go ahead. Sorry.
I've seen those tapas layouts, and it's good food.
Yeah, the food there, everything is incredible. I visited Spain 4 times last year, and it was the culture, the people, everything about it. I was like, this is my place. I'm actually originally from Chile. I live in South America, so I was like, okay, I speak the language. This is my place. It's time to go back.
There you go.
But yeah, so hopefully I can bring some clients over and we can all hang out and grab some drinks together. It'd be fun.
Well, it's a beautiful city. It's a beautiful place. The food, oh my God. I mean, just everywhere you go, it's just food. That's why I couldn't live with it. It's the same reason I can't move to Texas. It's because I would just eat barbecue like 24/7. Whenever I go to Texas, it's like barbecue. And then after a while you're sweating and you're just like, what is this? So make sure you moderate. That's all I'm saying. Watch the women, wine, and food. Pace yourself. Anything more you want to tease out about what you guys are doing there, Benjamin?
Yeah, so I would say we don't really bring on new clients. I know this might sound cliche. We don't bring on new customers. I mean, you really become part of the family. Whenever you come on with us, you get your own personalized account manager. You get direct access to me and my partners, the founding partners. You get direct access to your dashboard that gets to show all your inflows and all your outflows. You get P&L statements the 10th of every month. You get an aggregated report to see how your business is generating, what's working, what's not working, why is it not working, what are we going to do about it, how long does it take for us to fix it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you can be as hands-on or as hands-off as you want. And that's what we like to do. We're in business for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So this is not supposed to be a one-off. And we're all about relationships. So we want to bring more people into our family.
There you go. Well, that's what we have here. The Chris Voss Show. It's a family that loves you, but doesn't judge you. At least not as harshly as your mom does. So there's that. So this has been pretty good. Give us your .coms where we want people to find you on the interwebs.
Yes. So scalingelite.com. Benjamin Cohen at LinkedIn is my LinkedIn. And my email is bcbequity@gmail.com.
There you go. Sounds good. And thank you very much for coming on, Benjamin. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chris.
There you go. Thanks, Manus, for tuning in. Also go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, youtube.com/Chris Voss, all those crazy places on the internet like LinkedIn that we're at LinkedIn, man. Check out the LinkedIn newsletter. That thing grows. It's insane. Every time I go in every day, I'm like, really? More people subscribe to it? I don't know why they like me, but for some, it must be my deodorant. I don't know what it is. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. And we'll see you guys next time.